MoldoInnova Connect4Growth discussion panel. And our participants here are Gergo Guliasz, head of WolfSex at Wolf Summit, Karolina Dodon, CEO at Click School, Daniela Botnariuk, Community Manager at Moldova Innovation Technology Park, Magdalena Kudlicka, UNDP Polish Challenge Fund, and Michailo Halecki, Startup Bridge. I invite all the panelists to the stage. Please take your seats.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that instead of Lucas, we have Mikhailo here. Hi.
Hi.
I'm very pleased to be here with you today, guys. I know Greg, I know Carolina, Michael, was very nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to talk to you. The panel is about the Connect4Growth project. It's a joint venture that we did between Poland and Moldova, Wolf Summit from Poland and Moldova Innovation Technology Park from Moldova. And that was proudly sponsored by UNDP Polish Challenge Fund. So the panel today is going to be about the project and how it helped empowering the ecosystems in Moldova and Ukraine, because the project was focused for these two ecosystems, and how it helped foster digital innovations through cross-border collaboration. And we'll just try and leverage on that topic. So I would like to start with Greg, because you were our leading partner in this project, and I would actually give you the floor to tell us what was the project about, why we did it, what was the impact, why did we do it, where did the idea come from?
Which project? Sorry, just joking. So first of all, I just would like to say a big thank you for UNDP Polish Challenge Fund to supporting this initiative, because I personally believe that these programs have a strong relevance in the region, and not only in Moldova and Ukraine, but also still in the Central and Eastern European region as well. We just had a panel yesterday about the Visegrad region, including Ukraine, of course, about a similar project. And basically the aim is very similar. So what we try to achieve is we really wanted to encourage trade between the two countries, I mean the three countries in that case, and two regions, let's put it that way. And we really wanted to bring Polish and international know-how to Moldova. And beyond that, as we have the crisis now, we just wanted to support Ukrainians to relocate to Moldova, because actually a lot of people from Ukraine seek refuge there. And also we wanted to prepare the Moldovan startups and participants for the international journey that they might have. Because, if we check what's the definition of a startup, is innovative enterprise with a global market potential. So, this global market potential means that, internationalization should come sooner or later. And that was the aim. So just in a nutshell about the program, so we started with market education. We published a report about the current challenges in Moldova and the region, after the war, what happened and so on. And then we selected 12 participants. And basically, we wanted to make the program open to everybody, so we recorded the pitches, we built a website, so a lot of useful materials are there. So we educated beyond these 12, but actually these 12 startups had a chance to participate in an accelerator program that contained 2 mentoring sessions with international experts, and also we had workshops, 6 workshops, and last but not least a demo day in Moldova, where we invited local and international keynotes and jury members, and selected 5 startups who now actually, after this panel, will have the chance to pitch in front of everybody at Wolf Summit. Yeah, right. And And yeah, this is it. I don't want to talk more about it because we're going to discuss it, but yeah, I think that's in a nutshell.
And hopefully we can talk more about the challenges that you've mentioned, the challenges that we've seen in the ecosystem later on. But just before we go ahead, I've missed to do a very important part, and that is to allow each and every one of you to give a short intro about yourself, just to give the audience some context about your background and expertise. So I'd like to start with Magdalena, actually. Can she hear us?
Yes, I can. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
So, warm greetings from United Nations Development Programme. I'm right now at the regional headquarters in Istanbul. My name is Magdalena Kudliska, Daniela, as you just said, and I'm a project manager for Polish Challenge Fund at UNDP. And I'm really, really sorry that I couldn't be with you today in person, but some other duties have kept me here in Istanbul. However, I was there with you last year, and I hope to be with you the next one as well. And just a few words about the project. The Polish Challenge Fund is a modality funded by the Polish government, which means the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which at some point reach out to UNDP to contribute and to launch this type of project to support Polish innovative companies and startups in foreign markets with transfer technology, with know-how technology. And this is how our project Connect4Growth was invented. Thank you.
Thank you, Magdalena. Michael, then, next. A short intro about yourself and what you do, projects you're involved in.
So, thank you. Thank you for the warm invitation. Thank you for this opportunity to present our project before this audience. So, I represent today Polish-Ukrainian Startup Bridge. It's a project guided by Cooperation Fund Foundation, which is a non-governmental organization in Poland. And we are also a government-backed project, just as UNDP, but our direct report is to Ministry of Regional Development and European Funds of Poland. And today we also present you 5 projects which are within our pre-acceleration program, Participate, which has begun in May this year and will be going through to the end of September. And you can visit our stand. I encourage you to do so and learn more about what we are doing just from the first hand from the startups we are supporting.
Thank you. Carolina.
Yes, I'm Carolina and I'm the CEO of Click School. And at Click School, we train people to start an IT career, and we do that with the help of AI. And then we also enable companies to find the desired candidate. We are a startup from Moldova, and me and my team have experience in education and product startups mostly.
Thank you. And I think we all know Greg, but...
Yeah, just again in a nutshell. So I am the CFO and head of WolfSex initiative at Wolf Summit. So WolfSex is a new arm that we launched last year, and I can proudly say that Wolf Summit now is more than just a festival, but we very actively participate in accelerator and incubator programs, grants, corporate acceleration, and so on and so forth.
Thank you, everyone. Magdalena, I'd like to move on to you, back to you. As you were the person who actually united us, I mean Moldova Innovation Technology Park and Wolf Summit, I'd like to ask, why does UNDP chooses to fund such projects? What is the role of such a big organization in fostering the development of ecosystem and innovations?
This is all connected with 17 Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the UN in 2015 as part of the 2030 agenda. So it's a huge program which should be adopted by all nations all around the world, in order to provide everyone with peace, prosperity, and that sort of things. However, this type of initiative, like Connect4Growth, but also many others initiatives that were awarded under Polish Challenge Fund, were actually able to appear because of a common approach of the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs and United Nations Development Program. Firstly, the idea came from the Polish MFA, and they want to move on from the traditional development support to partner countries and explore new ways of supporting them. And furthermore, knowing huge potential and innovativeness of the private sector, they wanted to make it a key player. And therefore, they reached out to UNDP, which had this kind of great modality, which is Challenge Fund, in 2019. And shortly after, it was possible to launch the first edition of the Polish Challenge Fund, which happened in 2020. And until now, we were able to award 30 Polish innovative solutions in Moldova, but also in Ukraine, in Georgia, and also in Belarus, which is really interesting. And good news for everyone who would be interested in participating in this program, because now I'm working on a new framework agreement between Polish MFA and UNDP, which will be actually the base for the upcoming call for proposals. So if you allow me, Daniela, maybe I could share more details on how to apply and how to be awarded, how to be among those like Connect4Growth initiative.
Sure. If you want to do it now, yeah, go ahead. Or we can leave it for the end, for the cherry at the top.
Like, you are the moderator, so if you are giving me just
okay,
light,
okay, let's come back to it at the end. Yeah, as a call to action to all the participants. I'm actually looking forward to hear more about the projects you have coming up in supporting the development of the ecosystems in the region. For now, I'd like to come to Carolina, one of the winning startups from the program from Moldova, a female founder, building her startup.
With a female co-founder.
Building a global startup from Moldova. And I'd like you to tell us, from your perspective as a startup, how is it to build, what are the benefits that the Moldovan ecosystem offers to startups?
It's amazing to start a career in Moldova or to open a company in Moldova, so I highly recommend the innovator people to come to Moldova, and specifically because we are one of the leading countries in everything that it's digital infrastructure. The fastest internet, cheap, 98% of our country has fiber internet, 99% has 4G network connection. So it seems like a heaven, isn't it? And you'd like to come there and open. And it really is. And why it also is because right now government looks more and sees an opportunities. And you'll see also the startups that will pitch today how great their ideas are. So this makes the government and the development partners to see Moldova and put that on an innovation map. And also Moldova government to think of innovation-driven economy. And being right now in this change is exciting. It's always exciting to be part of a change. And whenever the partners come, for example, the program Connect4Growth, and it gives us all of best practices that they tried already in their countries, so you can take all of these benefits and implement it. It's so much, I would honestly say it's so much easier probably than it was 20 years ago. And having all of these opportunities helps me being here today with other founders and other startups, and having this supportive environment where all of the stakeholders right now are focused to to foster innovation, Moldova IT Park, for example, and the innovation awards that we have. And if you don't know what our IT Park is one of the best inventions and one of the best things that Moldova has. Even though there are so many challenges, Moldova is a sandbox where you can try, see what works and what doesn't work, and then just scale.
Thank you. Yeah, and about the IT Park, actually, just to build on that, it's a unique business environment, actually, for IT businesses in Moldova that offers a fiscal incentive of a single 7% tax. Yeah, I encourage you to look into that if you're looking where to relocate or do a business in IT. Okay. Michael, I know you have extensive experience in in the ecosystem in this Central Eastern Europe, especially the focus on Ukraine. And our program, we also had startups from Ukraine participating in our program. Can you tell us what are some of the most pressing challenges that you've seen, especially in the last years, going on in the startup ecosystem that we also tried to, solve through various projects?
That's a really good question, actually. I need to circle back to 2018 when we started Polish-Ukrainian Startup Bridge project. At that time, our main goal was to open the market for Polish investors, Polish accelerators, to show them that Ukraine has talent, has number of talents, and they are eager to develop innovative solutions in the region, not only in Ukraine, but to expand and benefit all the countries in the Central Eastern Europe region. That's the cornerstone. That's what we have been doing for the last 5 years. In terms of challenges, there are some challenges which were pre-existing before this second stage of full-scale war, which has begun on 24th of February last year. And those include, among others, challenging legal environment, regulatory environment in Ukraine, unstable macroeconomic environment in Ukraine. At that point, remember, this is pre-existing condition, which was severely downgraded with the start of the full-scale invasion in February last year. So those two parameters, legal, macroeconomic, and then the lack of support ecosystem. And I would like to circle back to that important word, ecosystem. So what do I mean by that? For us, and within Polish-Ukrainian startup region, in Ukrainian startup community, there is a consensus of the ecosystem. What is the ecosystem? Those are the support organizations who help talented young or experienced individuals who have their ideas, who want to try themselves in entrepreneurship, IT-related, manufacturing plus IT-related, so those are our focuses. Help them to reach their goal by providing them experienced mentors, first of all, so mentorship support. Second of all, sources of funding. So this is most important. We have all heard pitches today. Every startup has needs to develop some basic solution to start with something. So this is the second thing. So mentorship, financing, and clarity on which market will be the most suitable for the solution he or she is developing. So those are three defining parts of the ecosystem. And what we have tried to do after the war is to maintain, after the war, second part of the war began, to maintain that focus, to allow Ukrainian startups who have been able to relocate also partially to Poland, to maintain contact with prospective clients, with mentors, and with prospective investors who are willing to take this increased risk, mitigated by part of the team being in more stable and regulatory and economic environments such as Poland.
And a follow-up question to everyone, actually. Let's imagine that the war hopefully stops tomorrow. Obviously, the whole country will be focused on the reconstruction of the country. How do you see, in this context, the further development of or resuscitation of the ecosystem in Ukraine?
Yeah, I think that's a very valid question, and I think this is something that everyone should consider because, you know, we have these new challenges, and when we actually when we actually wrote the proposal, what we tried to do, we consulted with our Ukrainian partner, ISC Corporate Accelerator, and they gave us market intel on, like, you know, what are the pressing challenges. So small things like, yeah, it's not really small things, but just one of many, is like the phosphorus bombs, say for instance, how much damage they cause to the agriculture. And then, you know, I see there is, of course, many problems there, but if you change your perspective, you also see many opportunities. So look, Elon Musk, I think, and we are in a startup environment, so everyone knows him. So Starlink is already there. A lot of American companies are already there. And I think startups should always focus on these opportunities and try to solve these challenges, because many of them are very new. So education, integration to the society, so on and so forth, they require modern and solutions as well. So this is how I see it.
Carolina, do you want to add anything? Do you think that will impact Moldova, actually?
I think it's a tragedy, everything that is happening right now there, and if the war stops tomorrow, I truly want all of us to see it as an opportunity how we can innovate and how startups can find unique solutions to solve a crisis. I also have a very strong belief in community, and specifically for us as countries in Eastern Partnership. Moldova, Georgia, Armenia, we're tiny countries, and Ukraine is amazingly big and powerful, and I strongly believe that we need to all keep together and make sure that we share all of the best practices, we help each other, and we foster innovation in this region. Not being individual players, but a powerful bloc in Eastern Europe.
Thank you. Michael, what is your view on it?
I would divide that into two main categories. For me, the first and foremost, what is going on while the war is still going on, there is a new thing which is being created, which was created in all of the countries while they were being evolving since the 17th century, 16th century, a new social contract. And that is the most important thing which is going on in Ukraine. And even if war stops tomorrow, the development of this new social contract between the societal players, the business, the people, it will define how we can help them, what they will require to foster economic, social, and environmental development goals. Yeah, so this is the first pillar. The second pillar is more about technology. If we are talking about technological sector, IT sector broadly, and product startups, I firmly believe that there are already institutions in place that were before the war, such as Ukrainian Startup Fund, a really great organization backed by the government, by the Ministry of Digital Affairs of Ukraine. They had their own like firepower, they had cash they needed to give to the startups. They have successfully done it for 2 years, so I believe that the first and foremost, we need to restore that flow which was being created for the last 2 years before this second stage of the war. And the second thing, to complement those organizations that are pre-existing, that have proved that they are useful for the local community, with the initiatives, so expand our regional initiatives from Moldova, from Poland, from the whole region, yeah, so Central Eastern Europe, to make them available also, not only for relocated startups here, but also partially for the startups which are being grown in Ukraine on Ukrainian soil.
Magdalena, can you hear us? Very curious to hear your
Yes.
Perspective.
Yes, I might have some different perspective than my colleagues. However, like UNDP was always present from the very beginning in Ukraine, from the very beginning of the war. They never left They were active during this whole period. They are extremely engaged with this direct support for the government, with analysis, with preparing recovery plans, etc. I already saw a few of them, and they are very active in gathering the financial and human resources in order to facilitate future, possibly recovery. And but I'm also extremely happy and proud to say that Polish Challenge Fund covers 3 ongoing, even now ongoing initiatives in Ukraine, which were contracted before the war started, but after it happened, everyone, each stakeholder, meaning the donor, UNDP, local partner, and the innovator itself, they all decided that they are going to continue with those 3 initiatives. So we supported Ukraine already in 2020 with Polish and 2021 with Polish Challenge Fund initiatives. We never left them, even during the war, and so we are having now 3 ongoing initiatives. One of them is very relevant for the city of Lviv, and we are going. We hope to come back as soon as possible with Polish Challenge Fund to Ukraine as soon as possible, meaning right after the war will end. So thank you.
Amazing, thank you. I think I'd like to focus more on the and if you, maybe every one of you can pinpoint a few measures needed to drive even more innovation in the Eastern European ecosystems. Maybe you have some, especially Greg, Michael, Magdalena, who are involved in building ecosystems, developing, supporting. Maybe you have some interesting examples or best practices from other developed ecosystems that can be replicated into the emerging ecosystems, I'd say, so like Moldova and other countries.
Yeah, I have a few. Sorry.
So
this is what I'm doing. So basically, just still back to the challenges, something that I didn't mention, and I know we're going to talk about it probably, is, I mean, Magdalena already mentioned the SDGs. So this is how, you implement projects, and this is a kind of measure and also a kind of KPI, which is very important. So whatever it's inclusion or sustainability related SDGs and so on. So this is very important for all the projects in the future to take care of those, because I think this is how you create long-term impact. The other one is the venture capital investment in the region, because as a result of the war, I think the percentage is 38%, but please, audience, correct me if I'm wrong with that, but I think it's 38% decrease in venture capital investment in the region since the war started. And the third one is the export fitness of the regional companies, because we see a few unicorns, but I don't think that's enough. So this is what we should push. And last one, I still have one more to this. So the cross-border investment between local venture capital firms. So we shouldn't just go and sell our portfolio as a VC to Germans and to the Americans. But I think somehow the regional investors are not really well connected compared to the UK, where everyone knows everybody. And last but not least, we should think on a university level, and the knowledge transfer officers should be trained in a way that they're going to have the right skills and everything that they need to commercialize research in an efficient way. And also, yeah, the university programs. So these are the ones that I would highlight.
Yeah, like that. That's more a collaboration of the government, the universities, and the business, the private
Yeah.
Carolina.
So just a best practice. So if you go to the UK, what you see is like all the universities, I mean, yeah, most of the universities, there is a corporate at least who is sponsoring innovation programs. And the KTOs, the knowledge transfer officers, really know what they are doing. Not like, you know, here they're coming from the academia and they have no sales skills in many cases. They're just sending us the one-pagers that the university produces, but it's not really useful for us. So this is something that we should work on.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Carolina?
I would say from a startup point of view.
Sure.
And
That's why you're here.
From a startup point of view, and what I see that we lack and our colleagues from or fellow founders in Moldova have struggles with is a legal framework to receive all of the money. And it's not like there is no money. There are money, and we have business angel investors, and we have VCs from Ukraine that are interested in Moldova startups, but the legal framework is not yet in place to make it easy and seamless experience, and these kind of barriers can become a little bit demotivating for the startups, and the only thing that we think that I think that we need to push a little bit harder is making it as a priority to have a legal framework, transparent one, where people can invest, venture can invest, private businesses can invest in your startup. And these will help us accelerate and also have a unicorn soon in Moldova.
Hopefully. Michael?
Actually, here this is just a short and sweet answer. I would like to complement the answers of Gregor. So, in terms of education, this is the first pillar which I see is really important in terms of driving the talents towards entrepreneurship and towards building technological businesses. And there is also, for a long time ago, there was established an organization in Ukraine who does that, YEP Academy. Those guys and girls, they actually are involved with many universities on a university level with the courses of entrepreneurship. So it's already existing. We just need to start doing it again. Yeah. So the war just mixed some things. They are also active, but not that active as it was before the war. So this is the first part. The second part, the Ministry of Education of Ukraine is also putting emphasis on technological education and entrepreneurial education, doing hackathons. So there are support mechanisms in Ukraine for that, for education. The second thing about public-private relationship, the private capital inflow into Ukraine, I believe that I would not be overly pessimistic, but I would say that over 70 or 80% of funding available, dry powder available, will wait till the final shot is done on this war. So the level of risk without any re-guarantees from governmental institutions or export-import institutions deter private funding from Ukraine. So this is what will happen definitely, but in time. And the third thing about best practices, the good example of UK. They also have this problem in universities that they cannot commercialize their projects because, and surprisingly, lack of funding, public funding towards universities to do research and development projects and drive them to the stage when it's investable by first private capital limited partner from the market. So what they are doing, they are reinventing these mechanisms. There are talks about increasing funding and making special economic zones, let's say, within some universities to drive innovations inside, to make them commercially viable to some point, and then attract venture partners. So I believe that this best practice can also be replicated in Ukraine.
Yeah, oh yeah, and also like the angel culture. So if you go to Cambridge Business Angels, so ex-alumni people acting as a syndicate and support, and also goes for Oxford, UCL, and all the big universities. However, I think the region is in a very difficult situation as we are post-communist countries here, and entrepreneurship was stigmatized, and people do not really have, significant amount of disposable income We have angel culture, but it's like far. But this is something that we can probably overcome as the years pass.
Interesting. Thank you. Magdalena, on to you. Is there UNDP doing anything in this, or maybe you've financed or supported projects in other regions very successful that maybe you're already replicated or that can be replicated in the Eastern region?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Daniela. It's a very nice question. Like, there were a number of solutions already which were replicated to the region. Like, I represent UNDP, which is active in Eastern Europe and Central Asia region. And those, they are actively looking for solutions which can be replicated and scale up from one country to another. But what we have to remember also is that we should always, even if replicating and scaling up the solutions which were like extremely valued in one place, we have to somehow tailor those solutions to the needs of the locals, because in other countries, because sometimes their needs might be quite different than in the country where this solution was actually very successful. And then we will be just very much surprised that the outcome was quite different. So we cannot impose on local partners solutions which are not just tailored to their needs. So this is basically what you did with Connect4Growth, Greg and Daniela. And I hope that we can somehow replicate this solution, however, taking into consideration very specific conditions in other countries. Thanks.
Yeah, we have to adapt to the region and then also to the timing, wars and everything. I'm just conscious about time. I do have a few more questions, but I think I'll move on to the last one. And I'm really curious to see what is next for you guys. What is next in terms of projects, future development, future growth, investments?
I want to hear it from Magdalena, because she said she has some projects that we can apply. So that's my answer in a nutshell, just to be mindful on time.
Yes,
Magdalena,
yes, guys. So maybe I will to take the floor. As I mentioned before, we are working on the new framework agreement, which will be base for launching the upcoming call for proposals. The next call for proposals, we know it already, will cover Moldova, of course, as our favorite priority country, and Georgia as well, another favorite priority country. But this year, there will be a new one country, which might be quite challenging and might be quite interesting for some innovators, which is actually North Macedonia. So we are kind of changing focus into Balkans, because Western Balkans are very high in the priority list of the donor, meaning the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They really want to support those countries into their path to the EU. So this is basically the idea. And how can we better support them than not through the transfer of knowledge, transfer of innovative technologies, know-how, and those type of solutions. So yes, it will be Moldova, Georgia, and North Macedonia. The award for the startups and innovative companies from Poland only is $40,000 US, and those who are interested in applying should contribute 10% of the whole budget, like minimum. But no worries, the contribution might be in kind, so it doesn't have to be like financial one. And also, those entities which are interested in applying, they should connect with local partners from those countries. So basically, UNDP funds the solution The solution is implemented by the interested company in priority countries, and the final beneficiary is the local partner from that country. So this is in a nutshell how the Polish Challenge Fund is going, and I'm not sure yet when will be the next call for proposals. But definitely will know about it, because I will share with all of you through all my networks the information about the upcoming call. It will be with all the probability we are going to launch it around mid-June, mid-July perhaps. We will see yet. We are intensely working on it, but don't forget that UNDP has also other funding opportunities, and Czechs and Slovak governments, they have their own challenge funds. The rules are pretty much the same. And I know that my Czech colleagues from UNDP Istanbul Regional Hub, they are going to launch their call in mid-June, I guess, in like 2-3 weeks. So what you should do, if you are really interested, you should check UNDP procurement site, basically. Check like once a week, because the calls are open for like 2 months or something. So just check and you won't miss any call.
Just wanted to ask, where do we have to look for it, if you can guide us? Is it just, so it's the undp.com website or specifically?
Yeah, I will just give me a second. I will share a specific website address.
I think that would be helpful. I think as Magdalena is prepping, maybe Carolina, you can give us tell us what is your growth plan.
Click School was launched more than a year ago, and as a team we completed our first phase when from a school with a business model of study now, pay later, with like innovative approach to the curriculum. We got great results, and we understood that this works, but there was not enough for our students, because we were giving same content to different people, and then we were getting different results. And with everything that AI is offering us right now, the next step for Click School is to develop a learning system that is more targeted to individual needs, that helps the learners go in their own speed. Everyone has the same goals, but it's a different way how we learn. And having all of the possibility and tools right now, why not embrace on this journey and not teach average content to everyone, but make sure that we develop tools for individuals to get to the end goal, a successful goal.
Okay, I'm looking forward to your pitch and find out more in there. Magdalena, do you want to share anything with us?
Yeah, just one note on my end, because my colleagues are looking at me. We are super late. So I don't know, just quickly, and maybe Mikhailo, just one sentence or something, because the time is up. So
short and sweet, we will continue to support Ukrainian startups and entrepreneurs who wish to know more about Polish and European market to our full extent.
Thanks.
Brilliant. It's smooth. Very good. So Magdalena.
Guys, so just one last remark from me. If you are interested, just please put in your Explorer UNDP procurement notices, and you will find a procurement notices website, and every procurement is published there. Also Polish Challenge Fund, also Slovak or Czech Challenge Fund. And if you are connected with me on LinkedIn, or rather on LinkedIn, I will be informing everyone. I will also share all the information with my networks, meaning with Greg and Daniela as well, and with Polish Ukrainian startups, Bridge as well.
Thank you, Magdalena. It was nice to have you with us. even though online. Thank you to everyone. And before we move on to the pitch contest, I'd like to invite all the startups, those 5 startups that we have from Moldova pitching, on stage to take a group photo.
Yeah.
Do I have
Thanks,
everyone
Daniela.
in the...
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Magdalena, just stay online because we can see you on big screen. So you will be on a photo as
Yes.
well. Can we have Magdalena back on the big screen, please? Yeah, can we have Magdalena back on the big screen, please?